Hello, Colas, and welcome back to Viva Barca. Welcome to the home of everything Barcelona, where we are going to be discussing on the latest developing stories. We start with this report claiming that President Joan Laporta opens the door for Messi's return next year, 2023, claiming that Barca will always be his home. We are going to be discussing on that as we progress. Then secondly, talking about Jordi Alba. Of course, recently talking on his World Cup selection and his reduced game time at Barca, he said, "I feel strong and eager." We are going to be looking at what the left back had to say on that. So guys, before we get right into it in much detail, please do ensure to subscribe to the channel if you haven't. Turn on the post bell notification to always stay notified whenever I post a new video. Consider liking the video and please watch it right up to the very end. With Lionel Messi's current contract at Paris Saint-Germain expiring at the end of the season, the possibility of his return to Barcelona remains pretty much alive. The Barcelona board is already working behind the scenes to light the sparks and begin the process of bringing the Argentine superstar back to the Camp Nou. They have achieved varied success when it comes to trimming their squad and getting rid of fringe players. The recent retirement of Gerard Piqué, coupled with Sergio Busquets' likely exit at the end of the season, should go a long way in freeing up a chunk of the wage budget. This should ultimately allow Barcelona to make a move for Messi in the summer of 2023, with star striker Robert Lewandowski already excited by the prospect of playing alongside the Argentine ace. Now it appears even Barcelona president Joan Laporta has opened the door on Messi's return, stating that Messi's return to Barca in 2023, Leo knows that Barca is always his home. Messi's potential return to the Spotify Camp Nou could be a landmark moment for Barcelona, who have done well to settle their economic hardships, although the club are still in desperate need of revenue. Particularly through player sales, there is a good chance they might be able to cut down on costs before the start of 2023-24 campaign. However, in order to achieve that, Barcelona must be very swift in the market. They are reportedly keen on offloading Memphis Depay in the upcoming January transfer window, while other players such as Frenkie de Jong and perhaps even Jordi Alba must leave the club at the end of the season. Messi, for his part, is unlikely to extend his contract at PSG, even though the French giants are trying their very best to prolong his stay at the club. Lionel Messi, of course, continues to be linked to Barcelona, even though, nothing has been said about where he will go next year. But of course, it is widely expected that after the World Cup, it will be pretty clear on where Messi will end up when his contract comes to an end, because there is the possibility of him remaining at Paris Saint-Germain, because Paris Saint-Germain, according to reports, are trying their best to ensure that the superstar continue his stay there. And there's a possibility of him going to the MLS, playing for the United States of America, playing for the MLS outfit Inter Miami, being the most linked club to Messi. And there's also that big possibility of returning to his beloved club, FC Barcelona, who have been showing so much interest to bring him back. Of course, since Laporta entered the presidency, he have always been talking about how his priority is to keep Messi. But, Messi left last year in such a bitter way, with tears in his eyes, and not the best way to send off somebody who have been your best player in the history by far. It was really a sad moment after the sacrifice, everything he have done for the club. So Messi, according to what we've been getting, have not been in talking terms with Joan Laporta. He has not been in talking terms with the president. And of course, there have been a lot of issues between the two, and that have even made this potential return to Barca being of serious doubt. If you are not in talking terms with the president, what makes you think that Messi will come to Barca if Laporta is still making Messi angry for the way he used his name to win his elections and things like that? So a lot of bitter taste between the two parties is still left hanging, still unresolved. So it's something to see how far it goes. So right now, despite the numerous talk or the rumors of Messi will come to Barca and play his last few years of his career No one can judge, or we can't conclude actually if that will be the case. Personally, as a Barca fan, I wish Messi comes back to play for Barca, and definitely that move is not going to be straightforward like we think. It's going to be complicated somehow. First of all, the relationship he still has with Laporta is not the best, and just maybe Messi will be like, look, my career is over there. Let me just cut it off. Like, Barca was a great part of my life, and that is it. I finally ended the chapter. It was not meant to be again. So let's see actually if Paris Saint-Germain will use their money to tempt Messi to extend his stay. Of course, we know Paris Saint-Germain can do whatever they want to do. So far as they have the money than Barca, they are financially stable than us. So it's going to be very complicated. Of course, Messi's camp have always reiterated that nothing will be said about his future until he concentrates with his World Cup with the Argentine national team. Until the World Cup passed before he can decide where he will likely go to next season. Then moving on to the next story of discussion, speaking an interview with Mundo Deportivo, Barcelona defender Jordi Alba has opened up on being called up for the Spanish national team squad for the upcoming FIFA World Cup 2022 in Qatar, as well as his situation at Spotify Camp Nou. The 33-year-old is one of the most experienced players on the books at Barca, but has seen regular game time hard to come by this season. Xavi has relied on youngsters Alejandro Balde as his first choice left back this term, with Marcos Alonso also preferred over Jordi Alba at times. Recent weeks, though, have seen Alba play a bit more prominently due to the injuries in the defensive contingent. Despite his reduced minutes, the experienced star continues to enjoy the faith of Spain manager Luis Enrique and has claimed that he's happy to be a part of the World Cup squad. When asked if he has to prove or vindicate himself given his situation at Barca, Alba said, "To vindicate nothing. It is clear that it is an important call for any player, more for me, since I have had many years in the national team. This season I'm playing less for Barca, but when I'm doing it, I'm feeling very comfortable. This call from Luis Enrique is great for me to continue and try to help my teammates, those who have played fewer World Cups or those who haven't played any. I feel strong and eager." On what his objectives were for the World Cup, Jordi Alba said, "To win it, like anyone who goes into the national team, it's an important challenge for us. We have a great team, although it will be difficult because there are other great teams. On an individual level, the same objective as at a collective level or in the World Cup." All-season campaigner Jordi Alba will be playing his third FIFA World Cup and will be the second most experienced player in the Spain squad after his Barca teammate Sergio Busquets, who is participating in his fourth World Cup and has been part of La Roja setup that won it in 2010. It goes without saying that Alba and Busquets will have important roles to play if Spain are to go to the distance in the tournament. So guys, with that we have come to an end of this episode. Thanks a lot for watching. Until next time, bye bye.